And on this virtual OC ParaCon panel, we're going to talk about, well, two things. One, a person, the other, something that if you're not already a member, you're going to want to by the time we finish this panel. First was Natalie Jones. Natalie Jones, it's a long list, but let me go through most of it. She's a paranormal author, a navigator, researcher, and investigator, clairsentient, ethereal conduit, motivational lecturer, dark energy healing facilitator, Reiki master, lead navigator, her term, for Ghost Hunter Girls. She's the creator and owner of US ParaCon, Texas ParaCon. She's also the creator and the owner of the Haunted Psychomania Museum. We'll talk about that in a little bit. She's also the founder and co-owner of Strange Goat Media. And what's going to be the topic of this conversation, she's also a ParaFlixx co-founder along with Patty Negri and Nick Bonanni. And here she is now. Natalie, welcome. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me today. It's an honor. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, you've been on Paranormal Perception, the shows before, but this time we get to see each other, and we'll show all of you watching us some clips on this time we don't have to try to describe what they are. You'll get to see what they actually are. Before we do that, though, let's talk about you. Let's talk about the Natalie story first.
Okay.
Let's start at the very beginning, not when you were born, unless you actually remember the details. That would be an interesting story. But talk about how your paranormal journey began. When did you know because most normal people, I'll say, they run away from scary stuff, except in the month we're in now, in October. Then it's fun. But most normal people, they run away from scary stuff. People like you, like me, and other people that are on these panels, we don't. We run towards the spooky stuff. That's what we love to do. We talk about that stuff all the time. So for you, when did that start? How did that start? The interest in the paranormal?
Yeah, well, I've always had a longing for, knowledge in general, to accumulate knowledge, to really just more for the wisdom of the greater good, the collective. But for me, I had a couple of very profound experiences that most of us would categorized as unexplainable paranormal around the age of 6 and a little bit after that. And I actually do, go into those experiences in my book, my first book. And, what I've come to understand is that most of us will have a childhood experience, though we may not have a conscious awareness in that, at that time. It is kind of like a direct indication of who we are and a part of kind of our like life path, soul mission, I guess, if you want to call that, or even just, you have that experience. And again, it's a direct indication of that. So like, I know, with linear time and everything, but what is, what was, what will be kind of all as the same. It's kind of goes along with that in the sense that, you had that experience because of who you are or what that purpose does entail, and not the other way around, not that you are who you are because of that experience in a sense. So that's kind of been a really big part of my awakening. And now in all the work that I do, I embrace all of the experiences, not just from when that started, but all the experiences that have come along the way. And for me, once I had like really embraced and understood that at a very, deeper, higher level with spirit, it was more of a an understanding, and things have just really continued to go in a forward motion, from that point as an adult, because, for me, and I think for all of us, when you have a profound experience like that, it's not, you don't start off, at a young age like that saying, yeah, let's go, do all this. Yeah. It's you don't understand it, so it can be a little bit like scary, I guess, as a child, and as would be for anyone. And so like growing up and everything, it was more one of those things where I kind of like pushed that into the back of my mind, or didn't really give it much attention. And then it wasn't until I really started to evolve more spiritually that everything really started to unfold and come together. So it's that's for me, just a part of my journey. But yeah, it did start with for me with that experience as a child. So
How old were you around the time when you started taking it more seriously? Like you said, do you remember about how old you were when that happened?
yeah, I mean, for me now it started in around the time that I turned 30, that I really started to switch um, with my experiences. I went through a very difficult experience, and I believe that it elicited some sort of spiritual awakening, and that's when everything shifted for me, not only spiritually but energetically. So over the course now of the last 6 to 7 years, it's really been an evolution process, and I'm just, again, I love learning, and I categorize knowledge kind of like into three different categories. Like there's that knowledge that we know, or that we can go and test and investigate and all of that, and then other higher knowledge, and those areas of whether it be metaphysical science or quantum physics, and those were, and knowing that even though it's unseen, we know that there's indications that it is very real. So you have that knowledge, and then you have the knowledge that there's more to it, and then of course there's information and knowledge that we don't even know that we don't know. It's just so off grid, right? So it's about kind of navigating through that, through different experiences and those sorts of things. Yeah.
Love that. That's actually part of the reason why I started the Paranormal Perception Show, and it's called that because
Yeah.
it is for that. It is to give you a different perception on the paranormal. Because you're right, some of us think we know, some of us gather some information from investigations or from reading or from the shows that are out there, and then there's some that we sometimes be on an investigation. I'm sure it's happened to you. Sometimes you just get shocked on the things that you find out. Sometimes from the spirits themselves. So let's get into Ghost
Yeah.
Hunter Girls. Is that the first thing that you did paranormal related?
Yeah. So like for me, through my spiritual learning and spiritual awakening, through a course into that, I really started to open up more to the paranormal field at that point, down the road. And it all kind of connected, and I had founded Ghost Hunter Girls Paranormal as well. So yeah, so this was back in 2018, I believe. It's been a few years, but yeah, I've had the pleasure of working with some really amazing people in the paranormal field, and continue to collaborate, learn from others, teach my knowledge that I've been given as well. And I believe that if we all come together and really share our experiences, and continue to pave the way in that sense, and really have open minds, then we can really make some great headway.
Did you find each other, or how did the team members how did you all find each other?
So I founded Ghost Hunter Girls as me, myself, and I. At that time, one of the girls that I had co-founded the team with, or she was there from the beginning, basically. She was wonderful, and about a year or so into it, she's really shifted, and yeah, started a family and those sorts of things. So she wasn't able to really continue with it. But this is my passion, and something that I, really cultivated in that passion. And so over the course of time, um, um, from the beginning, also I've had my director of photography. So he's amazing. He's got an amazing eye. I've really enjoyed working with him as well. But Ghost Hunter Girls is really myself, and I like to collaborate and work with others, because right now my main focus is in helping others, and of course these business projects that I have going on, in order to help make a way to do so. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's, as you heard me at the top, there's a lot of things that you've done. We're not going to touch on every single one of them, or we'll be
Yeah.
here for like 9 hours. But the next big thing you did, and I know now because, well, it's virtual, but because of what I'm doing here, is Texas ParaCon. Talk about why you decided to start a Texas ParaCon.
Yeah, so Texas ParaCon, it started around May of last year, and I was just kind of sitting on my couch one Sunday morning drinking coffee, And I just felt like this really big impression, like start a Texas ParaCon. So I did. A lot of hard work went into that. It evolved into something really great, and there was an incredible lineup. So this year we're having to you know basically restart that for next year due to circumstances with the venue actually. But it's been an amazing experience. All of the ticket holders and those that had purchased a booth were refunded, and they're getting complimentary passes and booths for next year. And I think we're looking at like really forming alliances with some really great people who can help propel this even more in a really great direction, since it is a US ParaCon will be ongoing. And having a really great event next year, or kind of further into the year after that. So that's going to be a really great thing to look forward to. And with ParaFlixx and everything that we have going on with all of the amazing content producers and with the television and all of that, they will be all of us be much involved with that as well. So it's definitely something to continue to look forward to.
Was this going to be the first Texas ParaCon, or it happened already before?
This was the first annual Texas ParaCon. So it has been postponed.
Yeah. Yeah. So really we are in the same boat. This was going to be, and it's funny listening. I was smiling when I was listening to your story. That's exactly how OC ParaCon happened, because I used to live in the San Francisco Bay Area, but then I moved over to Anaheim. And then looking around, I was shocked, actually, not surprised, shocked that there really had never been, and there were no paranormal conferences in the LA or the Orange County area. There's Midsummer Scream, there's conventions, there's film festivals, but nothing like what Texas ParaCon and what OC ParaCon was going to be, where it's not the films, not the movies, because we might feature them every now and then, but it's mainly people that are in the paranormal community, investigators that you may see on television, or just investigators who investigate on their own in private, and they want to share, like they want to share their information with an audience. So that's what it's going to be, and that's exactly what happened to me. I always say I'm not gifted. I don't have the gift. Patty Negri, she says, yeah, you kind of do, and not to her level, but she kind of says I do. But I the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it just because you said it. I did hear a voice too that said, do an OC ParaCon, which we were.
It was like a download, like an impression, and everything happens for a reason. And I'm really excited about having another successful event like you are. So again, thank you for having me. We push through and we keep going and do our best, right?
Yeah. And I don't upset. I never believe in coincidences. There's a reason why you and I got to meet through ParaFlixx, through Patty, and now we're here doing this. And I think I won't say what, because we just don't know what yet. The universe hasn't shown us that, but I think you and I are going to do some big things pretty soon.
I look forward to that then. And I'm with you, Henry. I believe there are absolutely no coincidences. And I speak through that only from experience and testimony. So I'm, us sitting here right now, it's meant to be. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. Now I know it hasn't happened for either of us, OC ParaCon or Texas ParaCon, but we've gone to other conferences, paranormal conferences, in other places. When you go there, not when you're speaking, not your fellow speakers, but when you meet fellow investigators or just fans of the supernatural, the paranormal, what do you learn from them, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different investigators and areas of interest or study. And so, with these events, I always go into them with just an open heart and an open mind, especially when I, haven't met somebody. But I always look forward to, I'm really into awareness, consciousness awareness, and, really being in the moment. And so I always just try to pay attention as I go through all of those moments and meeting new people, even those that I have met before and meeting again, because every moment is just like a celebration and a miracle in that sense. So I would say more just having, again, going back to having that open mind, and talking to everybody, and when we're coming together in our passion that unites us so much, really talking about those things. I enjoy actually investigating, of course, is a whole different ball game. And but at the actual event, just learning as much as I can from others, and vice versa. And any opportunity to work or collaborate, I'm all about. I'm always just, my number one focus is what can I do to help others. I believe that that's a part of why all of us are here, is we're here to learn to be beings of unconditional love, and learn, like, forgiveness and charity, and help others. And so that's my foundation whenever I go into anything. But then again, on the paranormal spiritual side of it, even more, with those that have the same passion that you and I do, is just for all of us to come together and celebrate that. And that's what I love so much about these paracons, whether they're virtual or in person, is that that's exactly what we get to do. And we get to watch the lectures, and the different other things that go on during the conventions. And it's just a huge celebration. Whereas we may not have had the opportunity to cross paths or meet that person, have the opportunity to want to work together. That's another great way for us all to network and learn from one another.
Yeah, well said. I mean, that's one thing I love also about the paranormal conferences, because I've done, with not with Paranormal Perception, with the other show that I do, I cover huge movie conventions like San Diego Comic-Con, and things like that. And going there, it's always like meeting my tribe, people that love the same things that I do. I wasn't aware of paranormal conferences, and when I did, it was the greatest thing in the world when I discovered those. But what I see also is a lot of people that go there, not the speakers, but the attendees, they love coming up to anybody that will listen, and there it'll be just about everybody, and share their experiences. I heard this voice, or I think I saw my uncle or my grandma, or something. And it seems like they need that, not escape, I don't even know what the right word would be, but they need that outlet to be able to, number one, it's proof that no, you're not crazy. You are seeing or hearing these things. So
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
another thing that I see at these conferences also.
Yeah, it's incredible. That's the best part of these conferences, is just meeting those who bought a ticket, or are attending to come and be a part of all of this. It's really about them, and just having that experience and all of that. So there's so much to learn, not just in the field, but to I feel like at a level we do have that responsibility to share as much knowledge as we can with the entire world, as we are one collective.
Yeah. See, and I could keep talking to you about your story for another hour and a half and then some. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'll have a link to everything, to your website on the description down below the video here. But let's get into, well, let me finish it with this one actually.
Okay.
We didn't get into all of them, but out of all the hats that you wear, do you enjoy one more than the other, or is it just about the same for all of them?
Well, out of all the hats I wear, I would say my favorite is being a mother to my beautiful 3 children.
Yeah,
You
great
know,
answer.
it truly is, because they help to keep me grounded and balanced, and focused on the most important things in life, which are our health, and just that sense of family, and all of that good stuff. So when it gets a little bit wild out there, that's definitely my favorite hat. But no, I mean, my one of the hats that I wear that I hold very dear to my heart really is ParaFlixx, because it really is there are things that I would refer to as doors. Sometimes we go through doors in life that aren't necessarily ours. And when that happens, sometimes we'll learn very quickly that our path in life will get redirected, or we'll go through something difficult through that experience. And then, there's some doors that we go through that are meant for us. And so I always like to be very aware of that. With ParaFlixx, it's as if it was something that was written in the stars, I guess, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
It's almost as if it's its own, it's like its own egregore. It's grown its own wings. It's everything has just flowed so seamlessly from the moment that all of us met to, all of it unfolding and launch and everybody coming together and being a part of it. It's just been the most humbling experience, and seeing the love and the drive and the dedication from everybody who is a part of ParaFlixx and will become a part of ParaFlixx and all of that. It reinforces my drive every day. I really truly enjoy the work aspect of it as well as the creative aspect of it. And there's like truly, nothing else like this out there. And it is the only universal platform. So I'm very, honored and humbled to work next to Patty and Nick and Mike and my stepfather, Chris, who is the CFO. He's amazing as well.
I love those answers. The first one, because yes, it is one of the most important job. And as a parent myself, not a mom, but as a parent myself, I think you probably understand this part. Honestly, to me, when we do these shows, when we do events, when we go out and cover events, that to me, that's my relaxed time. Because yes, as a mom, it can get a little hectic. We love them, but it can get hectic sometimes with the kids. So when we go out to these things, even though it seems like we're busy, that's actually our fun, relaxed time. And the ParaFlixx answer, I love that, because now we can get into perfect segue right into ParaFlixx. So
see how I set that up. No.
Yeah, a pro. We didn't plan it at all. See, we're right there. But for those of you that may be hearing about ParaFlixx for the first time right now, first of all, where have you been? Second, this is what it looks like.
All you can tell the family to do is get out.
Since we've been here, we've done a few interviews upstairs. We've been pulled more towards that area than this entire house.
There you go. Is that you, Laura?
Yeah, get out of there, Mike. Laura, are you scared of something that's in the closet?
It felt like ice.
He stopped breathing. Like, it looked like you stopped breathing for a second.
It's a constant behind, front, behind, front.
It's playing again. I didn't touch it.
This is Super Mega Trivia Slam Horror Movie Trivia. For this special interactive episode, you as the player will get to interact with the show and get to choose the answer. How cool is that? If you're playing on a streaming channel, you can use your remote to pick a question. Playing on a mobile device, well, then you can tap the answer. We have many rounds of multiple choice questions, all horror movie related, and each one has its own theme. Let's do this.
And so that's ParaFlixx. It's out now. So let's have you talk about how did it, and I can kind of hear from the story, your story. I can imagine how it happened, but talk about in detail now. Tell me the story, how it became an idea into the reality is now.
So Nick and I, Nicholas Bonanni, we had spoken multiple times leading up to all of this. The first time that he and I had met was he had me on his podcast, and this was at some point last year actually. And we really hit it off. We had spoken a few times about working together, filming together, trying to figure out how we would be able to collab, especially since at that time he was over in the UK. And at one point I came to him and I said, look, because this was during, kind of like the times where we were in and out of quarantine and those sorts of things. So I had decided I wanted to do a paranormal web series where we would film via virtual and then put it into an elevated production where it would be a tour of haunted locations as well as a display of all of their haunted items and antiques. And so I named it the Haunted Psychomania Omnipresent series, because omnipresent means everywhere at once, infinitely. And I felt that very fitting for me. And I got on the phone with Nick and I said, hey, you want to be my co-host for the Haunted Psychomania Omnipresent? We started getting into it and it was perfect. Nick suggested, hey, let's have Richard Lillard, the other co-host. And it may have been one way or the other. I may have said, asked him because I knew he knew Richard Lale. Either way, Richard Lale was all excited. He was on board. They were both amazing co-hosts. And I approached my partner, an executive producer, Mike Catcher, who's a co-owner with me at Strange Goat Media. And he was able to, get on board and be executive producer and editor on the project. So it was perfect. And we had these amazing locations set up. One was the Hinsdale House, Haunted Hill House in Mineral Wells, Texas. We did Malvern Manor with Josh Hurd. And at the time we had done Richard Lale's home that he had lived in prior. And we called it the Haunted Museum House because Richard Lale has like an amazing collection, right? So it was perfect. And that was actually the season one premiere. But, Nick came to me one day and he said, because we had started, pre-production, and he said, why don't we just create our own streaming service for our show? And I said, okay. I'm pretty sure the moment that this happened, I was in my car. I just pulled up to my house, coming back from yoga. So I was like at my prime peak moment. He caught me at a really good time, let me tell you. And I just said, yeah, okay, let's do it. And then we got on the phone like the next day or two, and I said, well, let's call it ParaFlixx. And it was like, yeah, ParaFlixx, right? And then right around the same time, we approached Patty to co-found. The three of us came together to form ParaFlixx Inc., which is a C corporation in the United States, in early November, and we have hit the ground running ever since. And we incorporated not only the ParaFlixx trademark, but of course Paranormal Plus. So we are ParaFlixx Paranormal Plus, and we did our initial launch in early March, and we had a second hard launch for the Roku TV in May. But yes, that's how ParaFlixx was born. We do call ParaFlixx our baby, and we're all one big happy family.
Yeah, and you told me the story before, so I knew it. And I always smile when you tell the story, because I told you I love that about the three of you. I mean, Patty already knew, so she's like that all the time. You tell her let's start a streaming service, okay? So I love that attitude about the three of you, but also the fact that it's not just blindly okay, let's do it. You actually get together afterwards and plan it out, and here you see the result. So I've asked you this before, but for everybody watching it for the first time, let's have them hear it. What do Patty and Nick, what do they bring as team members to ParaFlixx?
Well, everything. You know, like I said, you know, the three of us just coming together, and it's just seamlessly rolled out. I mean, we all have our parts. We work really well together. We collaborate, you know, on all levels, on all angles. And we've had the honor and the pleasure shortly after co-founding and coming together, we brought on Mike Hatcher as executive producer. He has just done an, you know, above and beyond job and work with our graphics and media and design and creative side. He's also, you know, I consider him a friend just as much as Patty and Nick and everyone. And I just am amazed at what he's been able to, you know, bring to the table in that sense. And bringing Chris on as the CFO, he has a very long list for many years of experience with, you know, multi-million-dollar level corporations as their CFO and those sorts of things. So with the five of us, we have a really great balance in all of those different areas. And going back to Patty and Nick, you know, I just absolutely love Nick because I know we can throw anything off of each other and figure it out. He's so intelligent. He just, his business sense is incredible. He blows me away. I love seeing him in action. He's got just amazing ideas that we have been able to implement. And Patty, I mean, she's just incredibly amazing in all aspects. You know, her spirit, just her presence, her energy. She's always so positive and supportive and loving. She brings so much energy and just cohesion to all of us in that sense. I just I pinch myself every day working with everybody and with Patty. Like I said, going back to the first thing was, it's just like it was meant to be. It was written in the stars. It's been a very smooth, amazing experience. So I'm looking forward to, you know, the near future, because we've got some really cool things we're about to announce. If you're lucky, I may announce it here for the first time before anybody. No, and just really looking forward to the future. I am looking forward to millions of subscribers in 5 years. So that's a goal. We stand for infinite possibilities. So hey, why not?
The first time the three of you came on, I think it was back in February or early or late mid-February when you first came on. It hadn't launched yet. It was about to. I think it was days from launching. Now it is live. It's out there. You have subscribers. What lessons have come up in those months that you didn't even think about when it comes to a streaming service?
Well, you're talking to a girl that works 16 hours a day, so everything's like a whirlwind. No, honestly, I think there's trial and error in everything, but it's been really good opportunities to succeed at every single turn, and just so many amazing blessings. And there's been such amazing buzz and positivity around the platform. We have a very high, almost 5-star review on all of the different channels. So like the Google Play and the Apple Store. Again, we have the streaming service on the Google Play, the Apple Store, Chromecast, and we did the hard launch on the Roku TV. So there's a lot of really positive buzz around the platform, and just kind of continuing forward, like in the thing, knowing that we're doing the things that we know work. And like if there's anything that didn't work along the way, we recognize it as a team and we move forward. So it's been a really great experience all the way around. I couldn't ask for any better business partners and friends, and just they have my full support no matter what. So, and a huge congratulations to Patty and Nick and Father Sebastian for their founding their new school, University Magicus. So we are promotional partners and we support University Magicus 100%.
Yeah, we Patty has a panel in here too. We
Okay.
were semi joking. I told her it's the real Hogwarts school that she started. So
Yeah.
I love that this is a panel of virtual you all of you watching this, you can see it instead of us having to describe what kind of shows are on ParaFlixx. This is what they look like. There's a few of them. Okay, so that's not everything. There's a lot more, but there's a little bit of a taste of what you'll find, the kind of programming you'll find on ParaFlixx. And I can you've told me, Patty has told me, but how hard is it really to go through all the new content that you get and decide, this has to go on ParaFlixx, this has to go? How hard is it to go through everything and decide what does go on ParaFlixx?
Well, when we first came together, we wanted to give opportunity to everybody, in the sense that it's not a certain production company or network that gets to decide, who or what, but to have anyone who creates a production have the opportunity for it to be able to stream on our streaming service TV network. And with that said, we also have to maintain a level of quality control for the TV app and of course for the streaming service. And quality is extremely important to Patty, as it is, of course, with the rest of us. And we love our viewers and our subscribers. Our fans are more than just subscribers; they're our family too. And so we wanted to make sure that we're providing what someone who would subscribe to a TV app and start watching on their TV, that they are really excited and want to continue to grow with us as well. So there is a fine line and balance in that. But when we came together, we wanted infinite possibilities that we stand for, and knowing our passion does unite us. And I believe passion is about 90 to 95% of everything. And a little bit of hard work can get you there, and we wanted all the way from the full spectrum of original content all the way over to licensed film, and filmmakers and everything in between, but at the same time, maintaining that level of quality. So we do go through the screening process, and yes, we do get a lot of content submissions, and I always try to meet with everybody, just to, at least so that they know how it works, what to expect, because if there's content that's sent in the first time and it doesn't get the green light for screening, there's always an ongoing process of submitting new content that might be created. So everybody is always welcome to submit content. And yes, Henry, we do go through it a lot, and making sure that everything is tweaked and headed in that direction. There's a lot more than that does go into it than just all of the content that we sort through. Of course, it's a pretty big fun process. So again, it's a lot of work, but I'm very grateful and to be able to do all of that work and get it done and continue to grow the platform in a very healthy and successful direction with everybody.
Yeah, that's what I meant by how hard is it. Not that it's tedious, but I mean for people like you, like me, who love the paranormal anyway, it's the funnest job in the world, getting to watch all this new content. But the hard, quote unquote, the hard part would be deciding, okay, this goes, but it definitely, and not just you and me, but anybody that loves the paranormal, how would you love that to be your job? You're sitting somewhere watching new paranormal content all day long, so that should be fun.
Yeah.
Now you teased it a little bit. It is October 1st. We're just starting our favorite time of the year. You do get some treats at the end. So do you want to give them a treat and tell them? Because all the streaming services, the TV networks, this is when they start their Halloween offerings. ParaFlixx is no different. You want to tell them what you're going to offer for Halloween?
Well, ParaFlixx, of course, launched in March, on March 21st. And we have rolled out, and today it has begun #HalloFlixx. So #HalloFlixx is an annual ongoing network theme in the month of October to celebrate not only Halloween, the paranormal, but all things spooky that we do all love. So you'll expect a lot of new content this month. Specifically, go into the app and you'll see that, there's not just hot titles and trending now and paranormal and all of the other amazing collections in the app, but there is a specific #HalloFlixx app that you'll see all of the new episodes and content in celebration of HalloFlixx will continue to come out in that collection this month as well. And we have some amazing #HalloFlixx dedicated horror short films, spooky short films. And yeah, it's definitely an amazing theme that we have, to be able to celebrate during this time of the year when we know it. We all look forward to this time of the year, which kicks off into the holiday season. So, you see Ghostober on Travel Channel, etc. And when you turn to ParaFlixx Paranormal Plus, you'll see that #HalloFlixx every October.
And if you see, I love, again, being on a panel, let's show you a little bit of what Natalie's talking about.
Well, hello, happy Halloween. I love your costume. Very simplistic. I love the sheet. Would you like some candy? Hello? Hello? Okay. Just gonna go back in.
Okay, so there's a little tease of some of the offerings that you get for #HalloFlixx. Let's wrap up, Natalie, though, by talking about. I'm going to play a teaser for this one also, but talk a little bit about the series that you mentioned it earlier about that you're producing. So talk about that, and then we'll show them a little teaser for it.
So we came together, myself, Nick, Mike, and Richard Lale. And we filmed and produced the Haunted Psychomania Omnipresent. The reason in the first place was, to come up with a good web series to be able to film during those times that we were, in quarantine. And I have ongoing plans to open up a haunted museum here in Dallas at some point next year, it's looking like. So this has been something that I've really been looking forward to. It's going to be another baby of mine. It already is, and it's the Haunted Psychomania. Ghost Hunter Girls presents the Haunted Psychomania. So the actual web series is a 5-part series right now for season 1, streaming on ParaFlixx Paranormal Plus. And again, the myself and then Nick and Richard Lale are co-hosts with myself, and we go around to different haunted locations, and they give us tours and give us a inside look into their haunted items and haunted antiques. But what was incredible when filming this series, we did not expect to encounter as much paranormal activity as we did. As Mike went back and was going through post-production, we started to realize very quickly that we were picking up multiple amount of EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, left and right. The most active were actually all of them. And we actually experienced some pretty wild activity at Haunted Hill House. That's pretty shocking. That happened to one of the owners while we were filming. So I'm not going to give it away, but definitely go check it out and watch the entire episode too, because it's towards the very end. It builds up to that moment. But yeah, the EVPs, some of them were Class A. It was incredible, and it was, what you would deem to be, an intelligent direct response. So yeah, it was an incredible time to film with everybody. They were amazing co-hosts, and of course, on the production side, Mike's amazing to work with. So we really had a great time filming the series, and I look forward to maybe getting on the road and filming for it at some point. You just never know. Maybe we can, when I open Haunted Psychomania, we can do a whole bit over there and all of that. But as with anything and the projects and the passion that we do, everything is a process. So as it unfolds, we'll keep everybody updated.
And like we promised, here's a little tease of what that looks like.
We find ourselves searching for answers to the unknown, the unseen. Though we can feel them, it isn't until we look beyond the dark veil with a new perception, beyond illusion, beyond the earthly realm, and truly see what is in the reflection for each and every one of us, only to discover the truth was staring back the entire time. May you enter at your own discretion. See you at the Haunted Psychomania.
Okay, so there's a little tease of Natalie's series. And Natalie, again, thanks a lot for coming on and doing this again virtually. Hopefully, knock on wood, next year we will be able to do it in person, and you'll be there also. Before we get out of here, let everybody know your website, social media, of course, ParaFlixx, where everybody can follow everything.
Great. So we will start with ParaFlixx. Please go to paraflixx.com. That's with 2 X's. And that will take you directly to the website where you can get an amazing preview and subscribe. The subscription is $3.99 monthly. And there's an annual subscription package, which is an amazing deal for $29.99. And there's an amazing promo code on the website as well that you can apply. And again, that gives you full access to the entire library of content. And there is a free 3-day trial. And the subscription can be gifted as well, which I know all of you know the holiday seasons are coming up. So we would love that. It's a perfect time to gift this to loved ones. And my personal professional website is nataliejones.com, and Anne is with an E. And I have a link to all of my projects and events and upcoming events and those sorts of things, as well as a direct link to Ghost Hunter Girls Paranormal. And yeah, I think that covered. I can be found on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook as well. ParaFlixx is on TikTok, and my personal social media profiles are official Natalie Jones, and then I believe Twitter is official Nat GG. Some people call me Nat. So yeah.
I'll find everything. I'll link it up down in the description below the video here. So again, thanks a lot for coming on. And this is me talking to all of you watching this. Natalie didn't tell me to say this, but I'm gonna say it is October 1st as this was released. You might be watching in the middle of October. 'Tis the season. If you're one of the few who are on the fence, thinking, well, I have so many streaming services. Do I need another one? Yes. Number one, paranormal. If you want anything paranormal, it's going to be on ParaFlixx. 2, you just heard it. ParaFlixx. Halloween offerings. Not besides the stuff that's already there, you're gonna get special stuff just for Halloween. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and become a member. You can thank me later. And again, Natalie, thank you again for coming on. We'll see each other sometime this month in person, because we're going to do an event. You'll all see that. But I will say here, since it is a season, in front of everybody, I've been saying it to everybody else, have a safe and happy Halloween.